Okay, why do I put patois? Because there's always this question about patois. Is it patois? Um, is it Creole? What should I call it? There is some difficulties many times we find among speakers and non-speakers of Creoles to name these languages because they are so young. They are very early languages. They're just, as we say, um, over the last 500 years, and there are different terminologies for them. Sometimes we have very ridiculous terms for them, but as years are going by, we see that there's much more. There's a decline in giving them these kind of a baby, funny names. Okay, that really doesn't do any favor to the Creole languages. Okay, but let me go back to the term patois. The form patois comes from Old French, okay? And the only what it means, patois means a provincial form of French, an uneducated form of French. It would be the French spoken and the peripheries of France, not in the it's not the variety of Paris, okay, of Paris, okay, and then that form patois got extended to forms used even in overseas, in the northern part of Africa, where there were these where France had the influence, and then it started to extend the use of this um, word patois beyond the borders of French. So we find that, for example, in Jamaica, you see the word patois, and you hear the word patois used very much, ¿verdad? Jamaican patois, they write it P-A-T-W-A, patois, the way as it's pronounced, and then that is what causes confusion because sometimes people say, but it's not patois, patois is French, and so on. Okay. I am of the belief and the inclination of that the people, the speakers of the language are the ones that must give a name to their language. It belongs to them. It's their language, and it's not a form that should be given by an elite, by a group of elite, but by the speakers. There are there is a movement, okay. There's a in this whole process of giving these languages, because they are languages. Let me be insistent in this. These are languages, okay, in giving them their proper place, in removing all these forms of Creole or French based or English based, and just give them their proper names. So that is part of the discussion that we hear today, and hopefully at some point they will have their name. For example, and when you read in the literature on the forms spoken in San Andres, you come up about the San Andresano. They say San Andresano to refer to the language of San Andres, which is a Creole. And in Barbados, we talk about Bajan, okay? For example, in the ABC Islands, Aruba and Curaçao and Bonaire, Aruba and Curaçao, they talk about papiamento, okay, which is they give it their proper name. And I've seen also the effort of giving Jamaican Creole the name Jamaican, and so on and so forth. So, and I think that would be a very positive, is a very positive move, because we know that Creole languages are very stigmatized. Okay, so we cannot, in any discussion, we cannot deny that. Okay, these are stigmatized language. So, giving them their proper place and giving them their name, like Sangandesano or Bajan or Jamaican. That would be a wonderful step forward, okay? And removing all these funny names and very childish names that we have found around some Creole languages. Okay, something else I wanted to say here is I have the term, is it language or dialects? Okay, these are not dialects. These are languages. And as a linguist, you know, we know that a dialect is just a variation of a language. So for example, Spanish has different dialects. Okay, there's a dialect, which is a Costa Rican Spanish, for example, which is different from the Spanish spoken in some other region. Okay, it could be another variety of Spanish. So in Costa Rica, for example, let me stick to Costa Rica. There are varieties of Spanish. You have one that is spoken, a variety that is spoken in the Meseta Central or the Central Valley, Central Plateau, which is that standard dialect. And then there's a big division with the one that is spoken in Guanacaste, and that is another dialect. Dialect doesn't mean that one is better than the other one, okay? It just means that there is a standard form and one that hasn't gotten that standard status, okay? And that's something I must point out here. A form that is standard today, a form that is non-standard today could well become standard tomorrow, because the only thing that makes a language, a variety standard is power, okay? Power, what type of power? Political power, economic power, okay? So let me go back again and make this clear. Creole languages are not dialects. Okay, now, these are distinct languages. If I am speaking in Creole, in Limonese Creole, here in Costa Rica, to someone who speaks Spanish only, they won't understand a word of what I'm saying, okay? And if they are speaking Spanish and I only speak Limonese Creole and I don't speak anything, I could not understand a word of what they are saying. For a dialect to be considered a dialect, there must be understanding between speakers or among speakers, okay? If there's not that understanding, I understand you, you understand me, that mutual understanding, then we're not speaking a dialect, we're speaking two different languages. So, just for that, from that basic standpoint, our Creole languages are not dialects, they're languages. Of course now, as I say one, I say the other. Between here and Jamaica, for example, we're speaking two dialects of a Creole. Okay, because the Jamaican Creole has evolved over time, and the contact has not been on that frequent basis. And the Costa Rican Creole has also evolved over time. And then today we will have forms, we'll have words, okay, vocabulary that we don't use anymore, okay, and so on and so forth, but I can still understand. If I hear someone from Barbados speaking, I can understand everything, even though there will be forms, there will be words and forms that are distinct, but we can still understand. So these are dialects of an Anglophone Creole. Okay, these are varieties. These are dialects of the Anglophone Creole. Okay, good. And you see how wealthy we are with all of us who speak a Creole language. There's Creole languages all over the world, okay? From South Africa to Asia, we have Tok Pisin, which is a Creole language that has become very important in New Guinea, in Papua New Guinea, and that Creole has become the official language of New Guinea. And of course, we have so many on this side of the world. In the Caribbean, there is the Louisiana Creole, Hawaiian Creole, there is Gala over there, Papiamento in Philippines, there's a Creole Spanish, okay, and that is not the, also we have that is a Spanish based Creole, okay, so we can go through some of them. Okay, we see all of these here, Australian Pidgin English, and in South Africa, okay, and these are, for example, Cabo Verde, Cape Verde, it's an Portuguese-based Creole, for example, here in Cape Verde, okay, and so on. Okay, good. Okay. And we have Creoles also in Africa, Swahili, Pidgin, and so on. We'll find different Creoles in different parts of the world. West African Pidgin English, okay, and so on. And you see the number of Creole languages around it. And here we can see, we can visualize it better on the map, okay? And we see that here and the west coast of Africa, there are many Creole languages, and also in this part of the world, there are Creole languages. But you see what a big number right here, as we saw when we look at the Caribbean map at the beginning, there are many Creoles, and you see it's mainly around this part of the world. They are mainly near the equator, okay? A lot of these Creole languages, and as I said, it has to do what? With European trading, okay? When Europe went out to conquer the rest of the world, okay? And they were, so that's why we find most of the Creole languages right in the same area. Okay, it says globally between Pidgin and Creole languages, there are approximately 30 million speakers of Creole languages. Hancock in 1977 recognizes 127 Creole languages in the world. So it's not a small number. We should not feel ourselves to be unique in that sense, nor isolated, but that there are a great number of speakers and different Creole languages that have evolved over time. And as you know, most of these languages are spoken by people of African descent in the diaspora, and we know that this has to do as a result of the European conquest of this part of the world and of what it meant for us people. Okay. Okay, and I think I mentioned this, that European-based Creole languages arose in the coastal areas in the equatorial belt around the world, right close to the equator. Okay, so in this part of the world, our Atlantic Creole languages, most of the Atlantic Creole languages, if we keep ourselves in the Americas, what we'll find is that our Creole languages, as I mentioned earlier, will be part of what a European language. It could be okay, it could be Portuguese, Spanish, French, English, and elements from African languages, and also, of course, we'll find maybe in lesser degree, but also forms and words, I would say mainly words from Amerindian languages, okay? The indigenous languages that were here.
Somos voces de la historia, sangre, tinta y papel. Somos voces de la historia, mis ancestros, su saber, mis ancestros, su saber, mis ancestros, su saber.